Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. For today's video I wanted to have like an open discussion I guess with you guys about my love-hate relationship with food. And I feel like a lot of people I think would relate to this video, but I feel like it's not something that's spoke enough about. Because at the end of the day a lot of people will have this love-hate relationship with food, but I think it's something that has this horrible stigma attached to it, and so I wanted to speak about that today. Even when I was young, I've always loved food. I've loved big hearty meals. I loved cooking growing up, and I was introduced to all kinds of foods quite early on in my life. And I think as I gotten older, it kind of went out of control. I started to get into like the early teenage years, and I started to have a lot of body image problems. And you know, for some people alcohol is a coping mechanism, for some people it's drugs, whereas for me it was always food. But I think when a lot of people hear like, well, my coping mechanism is food, I feel like a lot of people jump to the conclusion that you overeat, and I do feel like you can undereat and have that relationship with food as well, because that's exactly what happened to me when I was, you know, growing up. I did have a lot of body image issues and I did want to stay skinny. So there would be times where I would eat hardly anything in a day. And obviously that's incredibly unhealthy. You need a balanced diet. But that's the kind of thing that I would do, and I would always go backwards and forwards between a love-hate relationship with food, because the times when I was under-eating, I would really, really hate food, because I'd be like, oh my god, but there's calories in there, but I want to stay skinny. Like, I used to be skinny. I used to be about 6.5, 7 stone. So I was like that for a very, very long time, for a lot of years. And that would be because I would eat very little, and I would kind of control. I was quite good at controlling what I was eating every day and really thinking about it. And then as I've gotten older and older and older, I've gone more into the overeating side of this coping mechanism with food. So it can go both ways, and I am always like teetering between the two, which is very, very unhealthy for you. Like I said, you know, you do need like a balanced diet, but I was always between overeating and undereating because of certain stresses and certain times in my life, you know, would definitely reflect my feelings towards food, certain events that have happened in my life. But you know what I do? I love food because it's a form of creativity in a way, and it is, for me, a form of de-stressing. You know, when I'm stressed or I'm upset or I'm angry about something, I tend to want to bake, and bake like a crumble, or I'll cook dinner for us all. Like, there's so many things that I enjoy about cooking, and then it's just like, it's so easy, I think, for me to go overboard with it, and that's why obviously I've put on quite a bit of weight. Recently I have, you know, the past few weeks been really trying very, very hard to cut down on what I'm eating again, and to not undereat but not overeat, but like I said, you know, be more balanced in what I'm eating. And you know, I think it's very, very important for people to know what they're eating, how many calories are in it, how much fat is in it, all of that sort of stuff. I think that's important, but I also think that it's important to have a balanced diet, and that includes food that might not be the best for you, you know, because this is me, you know, I'm currently trying to lose weight. I have actually lost weight in the past few weeks. I've really been trying to work hard, but I've not been skimping out on the food that's bad for you. And I think that is very, very important. I know a lot of people like, well, yeah, but you're trying to lose weight, so you need to eat incredibly healthy all the time. And I don't see it like that. I think it's, again, it goes back to this balanced diet, and you just need to be aware of what you're putting in your body. And then you need to be aware of, okay, well, that was a treat, and then that's the cut-off point. And I think that's very, very hard for me. Like, where is that cut-off point where you just stop eating as much food that's bad for you and you start to, you know, I don't have that cut-off point really. So I've been trying really, really hard. So I do always have this love-hate relationship with food. I always have done, and I probably always will do. And I do go through weird stages in my life where it's like, I'll undereat or I'll overeat, and it's very, very hard for me to find that middle ground. There are many contributing factors to that. Obviously, that's just how I am. It's things that have happened in my personal life that have led to this kind of behaviour that I have with food. But also I feel like it's because when you look at it financially, a lot of your food that is bad for you that you can pick up in the supermarket is relatively cheap compared to fruit and veg and fresh fruit and veg and all of that sort of stuff. It's expensive, and the prices are only going up for things like that. Whereas I think, you know, food that's bad for you is easier to get your hands on. It allows people to be lazy when they want to go and they want a McDonald's or a Burger King or whatever. It's so easy to become reliant on it, and it's easy to, I think, become lazy with things like McDonald's and things like that, because, you know, I know it's not always down to laziness. I know sometimes it's like, well, I don't have time to cook and I don't have maybe the skills to cook. And that, you know, circumstances of why you would go towards food like that is different from person to person. It varies. We're all different. We've all got our reasons. But I was actually looking up things for an upcoming series on my podcast, and specifically a topic that very, very much so interested me was, should we ban fast foods in hospitals? And I think that's such an interesting topic. And so yeah, it's definitely all about having a balanced diet, but it's just something that I've always struggled with. I've loved to indulge in chocolate and sweets and little cakes that are just incredibly bad for you, and it's all right to have those things, but you have to have those things in moderation. I'm going through a lot of changes right now. I'm trying to better myself as a person, and I think that's definitely the part of what I have to do in order to just be a happier, healthier woman, is to, you know, lose a bit of weight and get rid of this horrible relationship that I have with food. So it's a very interesting topic, and I think it's a very interesting thing to talk about and really to open up about our food issues and our food relationships, both good and bad. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave this video a thumbs up. If you're new here, click on that subscribe button, and I hope to see you guys in my next video.